And gallery view, we are good to go. Right, so we're going to start off in standing this morning for a change, just for a change. Get my soggy wet mats sorted out. So we're going to come into a lunge position. So let's go right leg forward. Let's step forward with the right leg. Nice and long, usual story, long lunge position, nice and upright through the spine. And once there, we are actually going to do the lunge. So put your hands on your hips. So you're going to come down into the lunge. You're going to come back up. Now you're going to transfer all your weight onto your front leg and come into that single leg deadlift. So you're going to shift forward as far as you need to be able to lift that back leg up. Straighten the front leg. So you've only got a very slight bend in the knee, just like you would normal single leg deadlift. You're just getting there slightly differently. And you're going to lean back or take the weight back, soften the front knee to bring the toes back down where they were into that long lunge position. Yeah, so it means we're having to shift forward and back on that standing leg and get more work into the glute. Make sure you're vertical before you then come back into a lunge. So drop the knee and then stand. The weight shifts forward. You're going to have to shift everything forward to take all the weight into the front leg so the back leg can lift. You straighten the front leg slightly, sink down again, bend the front knee, and then put the toes down nice and lightly, come back vertical, and come down into your lunge. Back up, shift forward, so you take all the weight off that back leg so that you can lift it, then stand, or straighten the front knee, I should say. Bend the front knee, put the toes down. One last time, we lunge, back to vertical, and then we're going to switch sides. A lot of work through that standing leg, if you hadn't noticed, right? So we're switching sides. Again, find that nice long lunge position, nice and upright through the spine. Once we're there, we're going to do the lunge, so bending both knees, drop that back knee down, come back up. Shift all your weight forward onto your front leg, however much you need to be able to lift the back leg, then straighten the front knee. You'll leave a slight bend in it. Don't get it all the way straight. Don't want it locking out. Shift back, put the toes down. Back into your lunge, drop down, come back to vertical, shift forward. This is my dodgy knee side. Come into your balance, slightly straightening the front knee, bend that front knee again to be able to put the toes down nice and softly. Make sure you're vertical before you do the lunge. Back up, shift forward, come into your balance position. Sink down, put the toes down. One more lunge, drop down, back up, and then rest. So we're going to switch sides. We're going to do it again. But when you come into, let's see if I can do it off the mat better. Turn this way around. So we're going to come into this position again. And when we're here, we're going to twist and open the hips. Yeah, so it's a hip mobility session or section. We're going to twist and open. It'll make more sense when we're there. But otherwise, it's all the same. So same again, step forward with the right foot into your long lunge position. When you're ready, we drop both knees, go into your lunge, stand, shift forward, lift the back leg up, straighten the front leg to a soft knee, and then you're going to twist the hips. So it's like you're opening your hips to the side. Hip bones point back down towards the ground. You shift back, you land, and we come back into our lunge. So hip bones, they're a good starting point. They're pointing forward at the moment. You do the lunge, come back up, shift forward, lift the back leg up and straighten the front leg. And then your hip bones are going to point to the side, away from that front leg. Hip bones point back down to the floor. Drop the toes down. Make sure you're vertical before you do the lunge. Back up, shift forward, lift the back leg, straighten the front leg, open the hips, point the hips back down to the ground, land the back leg, last lunge, stand, and then we're going to switch sides. Shake out if you need to. I'll stay with me, Matt. Find your nice long lunge position. Back knee drops to the floor, vertical, shift forward, lift the back leg, open the hips to the side, close it back down, drop the back foot, lunge, stand, balance, open the hips. Ooh, my knee won't have it on this side at all. Close the hips, drop back into your lunge. Last one, up into your balance, open the hips to the side, point the hips back down, drop the back knee, and then we rest. Good stuff. All right, coming to the end of your mat. So the mat's in front of you. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, bit of a combination. Right. So wide through the legs, so coming into a squat. So squat with the heels down. So shifting the hips back. So shift the hips back, come down into a squat, come as low as you can, but you've still got work. So I'm not coming right to the bottom of the squat, I'm resting. I'm staying in this zone where there's some work, so I can feel it in my legs and my glutes. Then when I reach forward, place the hands down and straighten the legs. So you've got your squat and straighten there. So hands down, squat and straighten the legs. So you're just feeling the work in the hamstrings or stretching the hamstrings. Lift the tail to the sky. Bend and straighten. Then this next one, bend the knees and hold. I'm going to walk out to a plank. So walk the hands out. Your feet stay where they are, so your feet are wide. And pause there. We're going to add in a little push-up. Doesn't need to be a big one, just wherever you feel like this morning. Small push-up. Then walk the hands back until the heels come down. You come back into your squat, and then we're going to stand. Same thing. Squat down, hands down. Walk the hands out to a wide-legged plank. Small push-up there. Walk the hands back to your squat. Drop the hips down to the bottom of the squat and then stand. One last time, all the way down. Walk the hands out to your wide-legged plank. Small push-up. Walk it back. Heels come down, butt comes down. I'm going to pause at the bottom here. I'm pushing out with my elbows into my knees. I'm right at the bottom of the squat now. Astergrass. Chest up as best you can. And all I'm doing is moving from side to side, just exploring what my hips are up to this morning. You can shuffle from side to side, twist the hips, work through the ankle joints. I'm kind of pushing one knee over one foot and then the other. So mobilizing the ankles. And then we're going to come down onto the mat, onto all fours to start with. And come into our rotation. So taking whichever hand, but right hand up overhead, left hand through the gap. Walk the top hand all the way around to our rotation. Pause and hold. Breathe. And then slowly release. Tell I'm liking this one at the moment. The other hand goes up overhead. Oh, I've just done that one. Yep. Other hand goes up overhead. Walk it round. And you try to lift your top armpit to the sky. And slowly release, coming all the way down onto your front for a shoulder stretch, arm out to the side, twist the body, try and keep the front of the shoulder away from the floor. Untwist out to the other side, keep rolling from side to side. I've just rolled off my mat with my bottom. I've now got a soggy bottom. Couple more side to side. Last one, whichever side you're on. And back through center. And then from there, coming up onto the elbows. So coming up into an elbow plank. So tuck the toes, about hip distance apart with the toes. In fact, no, I'm going to take this into a side plank. So let's go feet together. So you bring the feet and knees together as best you can. Not easy in this position. It'll be all right once you get up into your plank. So from there, whatever you need to get into your plank. So you can either curl the tailbone under and lift your belly button up off the floor, which takes the curve out the spine so that you can then lift. Or if you need to come up with the knees first, so knees down, so you're coming up and then lifting the knees off the floor, your choice, but come up into a solid elbow plank. So from there, make fists. You're going to turn your left fist to your right elbow. So you're making a 90-degree angle with your arms so that you can pivot on that shoulder and come into a side plank. Excuse me, coughing away here. Yeah. So we're into our side plank. We go the other way. So the elbow comes down next to the fist, exactly where it left off from. You rotate back onto the toes, turn your left elbow straight or your left arm straight, and then pivot your right fist towards your left elbow so that you can pivot on the feet and come into your side plank. You can stack the feet or you can leave them where they are. Coming back, toes come down, you pivot, elbow comes down next to fist, organize your feet if you need to. Fist comes straight or arm comes straight. Left fist, right elbow, windscreen wiper the feet to your side plank. Coming back, feet windscreen wiper, elbow comes down, arm goes straight. So you get the idea. We're just going from side to side, hips are twisting. So still working in that rotation, everything to do with the hips this morning. Pivot on the feet, elbow comes down, switching sides. One more time to the other side. Back through center. So you're all the way back, lower the knees, then the chest, and then push up into all fours. In fact, you can push all the way back into child's stretch or child's pose, whatever it's called. Sinking the elbows, sinking the forehead down. Just a moment of reprieve. You get your breath back. And then coming out to all fours. So we're going to continue this theme of this 4-point bridge and all this work that we've been doing, moving through lots of different plank kind of movements. So we start off on all fours. We'll take the hands slightly further out in front of us. Hopefully not going to slip. Toes are tucked under. I'm going to pick up the knees to our beast position. Then we take it back into the stretch. Butt to heels. Butt to sky. And then pedaling the feet there. So you're stretching out the calves, one after the other. Feet wet my toes. Toe separators are coming off. Soggy wet feet. So pedaling the feet, just stretching out the calves, lifting the tail to the sky. And then from there, same thing, bend the knees, take your butt to your heels. I'm going to take a big step forward with the right foot. So right foot comes to the outside of the right hand. You're going to take the right hand up to the sky. Hold and breathe. And remember, it's the chest that you're trying to open. You're trying to rotate the chest, not necessarily the arm. So the arm is kind of loose, but don't just take the shoulder back. Yeah, it's the chest that you try to get to. So the rotation's coming from your upper back. It's easy to get stuck with what the arm's doing because it's up there to look at. Hand comes down. We step that all the way back to our plank. We're going to lift the hips again, just briefly. Then going to sink your butt down to your heels. Same thing, left foot comes forward, the outside left hand. And then take the left arm up to the sky and twist from the upper back. You can look up at that hand. Hold and breathe. Hand comes down next to the foot. I'm going to step it back to plank. I'm going to lift the hips again. So hips to the sky, and then pedaling the feet one last time. Okay, from there, take your butt to your heels. Knees are hovered. Come forward into plank. Take it back to your heels. Lift the hips to the sky. Forward into plank. We've been here all this week, a bit last week. Butt to the sky, butt to heels, out to plank. Okay, so from here, knee to elbow. So we're doing the elbow slide. So bring right knee to outside right elbow. Keeping the foot off the floor, lower the knee down, so the hips have to lower. Lift it back up and take it back away. Same on the other side, left knee, outside left elbow, lower, lift, take it back out. Take the hips up to the sky, bend the knees, butt to heels, come back to all fours and lower the knees. And just come off your wrists for a moment. So it's not a good choice. I'm actually sweating this morning. I thought it'd be cold, but it's not that cold. It's nice. Roll the wrists if you need to, whatever you just need to do to give them a little bit of love. I'm actually all right this morning. I think they're getting stronger after this week. All right, so the complicated stuff then. It will be easy this morning, I promise. So we've got our little beast. We hover the knees, the under switch, and it's called the under switch because that's where your leg's going. It's going under. So we're going to take the left leg, it's going to go underneath. I'm going to pivot, pick up the right hand, and come to our crab position. So one arm crab position. Lift the hips up and take the arm overhead into your crab reach, looking down at the bottom hand, turning the elbow out. Lift the hips a little bit higher. Up. Come on, Andrea, get them up. Up, 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 up. Yes. And then slowly lower. Don't put your butt down. Instead, pick up your left foot, take it back underneath you, pivot back onto all fours, and then place the knees down. So doing this super slow, just so you've got time to keep up. I've got time to talk about it, you've got time to keep up, but we'll speed it up in a little bit without the rest in between. So same thing, knee hover, right foot. Right foot's gonna come underneath. I'm gonna twist the hips, left hand comes up. Don't put it down, stay lifted. Lift the hips up into your crab reach, arm reaching, elbow reaching. Looking down at your bottom hand, lift the hips as much as you can. Trying to get into one long line with the hips, shoulders and knees. It's essentially a bridge. Sink the hips back down. Then pick up your right foot, take it underneath the other one, pivot over, back into all fours, and then release the knees down. And just come off your wrists for a moment. So there's a tendency when we get to this position to be here, just because the way we're kind of length of arms and legs and things. So if you see my arm is not vertical. So when you get to here, if you like this and you look down at your arm and it's not vertical, you need to shift back. Yeah. So it's sometimes a case if we load, your body will prefer to load up the quads and it will prefer to load up the shoulder. So we're going to shift back. It was easy for me to talk about it there than it was to try and do it while we're in the middle of that. So we're going to do it again, same each side, and then we're going to add on. One last time. Knee hover. Left leg goes under. Right arm picks up. Lift the hips. And then look down. You see, mine's definitely not straight. So I'm just going to shift back slightly, which gives me a little bit more room to open the hips Sink the hips down to a hover, pick up that left foot, bring it back underneath you, and pivot back to all fours. Same again on the other side. Right foot picks up, goes underneath, hips twist, come into your crab reach, look down, shift back if you need to, not too far. Lower your bottom to a hover, pick up your right foot, take it back underneath you, back to all fours, and then lower down. Okay, just because we seem to be doing okay, come onto your butt. So talked about this idea of lifting by pushing the shoulders down. Yeah, especially here. Once you get to this point here, where you're about to do this movement, you want to be pushing the floor away. So it's your lats that are doing the work. And there's a reason why. And so all of this, me coming up off the floor, this height in my butt is from this action at the shoulder. I'm not doing anything with the legs. Yeah. As proof. Yeah, my legs are kind of loose. It's this action here that you want to get to. So let's work that in slightly.
I've got a problem with my left shoulder. I can't get, because I've got an old rotator cuff injury that's never completely gone. So that's why I'm struggling on the left.
Is it hurting you? Is it pinching or is it doing okay?
Yeah, no, it pinches. Yeah.
It pinches. We need to find you a better shoulder position. Have a word with me afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do as best we can with now, and then we'll talk about it after. So just going to go through it one last time. Yeah. All right. So pick up the knees. Left leg comes underneath. You pivot over. Now here is where you need to really push the floor away. Yeah, push the floor away. Then lift the hips and do the reach. Lower your butt back down, but don't lose that shoulder connection. It will want to sag. Same thing, you're going to pick up that left foot, take it back underneath you, pivot back over onto all fours, straight over to the other side. Right leg goes through. Push the floor away as you lift up. Shift back if you need to. Sink the hips. Pick up your right foot, take it back underneath as you pivot over, and then drop the knees. And then you could come off your wrist for a moment. Okay, coming to standing. So we're going to play with that. Coming back to where we started. Playing with that hip movement in the single leg deadlift. So take the right leg out in front. I'm going to take the left leg up. Left leg up, left arm up. Let's go with the left arm. Yeah, exactly. Lunge down and reach forward. So you've got the reach. Yeah. So reach it to the floor. Keep the hand there. So I've tensioned my fingers. Hand is on the floor. Shift forward, just like we did at the start, picking up your back leg. So when you're in this kind of 3-point position, so hand and foot, pick up your hand or leave the floor with your fingertips and straighten the front leg. My hand is just reaching to the floor. I'm going to bend the front leg, touch the floor, straighten the front leg. Bend the front leg. Straighten. Now I'm not locking the knee out. It's still soft even at the top. So we're just bending and straightening. Place the fingertips down. Drop the back foot back down. Come back up to vertical. And then we're going to switch sides. So left leg forward, right leg back. Right arm up to the sky. So reach forward. So you're loading up that front leg already. Reach forward as far as you can. When you're ready, pick up the back leg. So you balance fingertips and foot. And you're going to straighten the front leg and bend the front leg. One more time. Bend, place the fingertips, drop the back foot, come back to vertical, and we're going to switch sides. So that's essentially what we're doing. We're doing what is essentially a single leg deadlift here. This is where we'd usually be. And we are bending and straight. So we do the single leg squat on that front leg in that position. Now, because I've got you into it from here, there will be a tendency to have your chest pointing to the floor. So at the point at which you start to do the bend and straighten, you need to lift your chest forward. So Superwoman sign pointing forward as you do the bend and lift. Yeah. So same thing on the other side. Right foot forward, left arm up. Do the reach, keep the chest up as best you can, gaze slightly forward. Fingers, hips are tented. Pick up your back leg. And now lift your chest up, really start to work through the back. So you've got to lift the chest, then you straighten the front leg, and then bend. Maybe you tap the floor, straighten, chest up, leg up. One more time, straighten, bend, put the back foot down, back to vertical, and we switch sides. Oh, it's hard work, this. First thing in the morning. Ready? Right arm up, reach forward, tent the fingers, lift the back leg. Once we're there, chest lifts. Straighten the front leg. So chest up, leg up, lower. Maybe we tap. Chest up, leg up. Maybe we tap. Keep lifting the chest. Ooh, don't lose it, don't lose it. Bend the front leg, put the toes down, go into vertical. Breathe a sigh of relief that that's over, and then come down for the pretzel stretch to finish. Should see it's about right. It's just started raining. Usual thing, top leg up, bottom ankle, pull the bottom leg behind you, open the chest to the sky. Breathe and hold. Slowly release and switch sides. Top leg up, bottom ankle. Take that leg back behind. Open the chest. And then slowly release. Well done, chaps. Oh. Nicely done. Love that. Thanks, Nick.